Hello, and welcome to the Game Week 9 deadline stream. I see we already have a few chats in the chat, so a few questions already. So I might as well just fire away and get going straight into them. Anish Nakra, welcome to the stream. You say you have 4 free transfers, fair play. Planning Enzo and Saka for Rangers and Stack. Okay, you need to get the funds. Okay, so Jokeres to Krupi Jr., Tarkowski to a 4.4 mil defender. Current defenders are Gabriel Senesi, Rodon, João Pedro to Mateta next week. Worth it with 2 4 million defenders. So I actually think it is worth it, and like it's an interesting one because they actually have been doing so well this season, the 4 mil defenders. So I think it is viable if you go like you already have Gabriel Senesi, right? If you go for another 4 mil defender, who's your fifth defender? You haven't said that. So obviously you'd want like 3 ones that you can basically start every week, but every now and then start your 4 mil defenders. I'd go for you already have Rodon, so I'd go for Mukiela. I do think it's worth the moves to get Enzo and Saka in for Rangers and Stack. Like your upgrade, those are 2 massive upgrades there. Johnny in the chat, Haaland hat-trick incoming. I agree, mate. I agree. Let's hope to see it. I hope to see it. Get your FPL team up. Do you even have one this year? Let's see it. John, who do you think will score more points this weekend, Gvardiol or Rangers? Do you think Man City are more likely to get a clean sheet? Or do you think Rangers is more likely to get an attacking involvement? That's basically the question. And I can't seem to figure out which one. All right, Matt Taylor, you say, hi man, loving your work. I'm on bench boost. Do I transfer Mukiela out for Rodon due to fixture or just save the free transfer? See, I'm not a big fan of using a free transfer for bench boosts. And like getting Mukiela out for Rodon is a very sideways move that I'm just not sure is completely worth it. Not sure it's completely worth it. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Is that worth the transfer? Obviously, Sunderland against Chelsea is like, that's never going to be a clean sheet, but I just don't think it's worth doing a transfer for a bench boost is what I'm trying to say. It's not. It's a bit of an overrated chip. LFC Cola, good to have you in the stream, man. You say, would you start Dubravka or Raya? Leaning towards Dubravka. So the thing with that is you look at Burnley's clean sheet odds, and although they do play Wolves away, they only have a 25% clean sheet odds compared to Arsenal's 44% here. I just think it's got to be the Arsenal goalkeeper. They're just the better defence at the end of the day. Anachronism, hello, how you doing, man? I'm very good. Good to have you in. You have your team here. Raya Dubravka, Gabriel Goodmanson, Romero, Gvardiol Senesi. In the midfield, you've got Reinders, Semenyo, Indai, Bruno, Stack. Then up top, you've got Jokeres, Haaland, João Pedro. You have 3 free transfers. What to do? So I think Romero's got to go. And I do think you can free up some funds by getting rid of him. Other players that have to go, I would say Stack. And other than that, it's like, okay, yeah, ideally you'd get rid of Reinders, Jokeres eventually. But I would maybe just use, I would maybe just get rid of Romero this game week. And get in like, I'd probably go for a Newcastle defender, like Thaw. I don't know how to say his name, Thaw, or one of Burn or Thaw. I would say go for. I like that as a move, and then just keep Stack, and then upgrade Stack when you remove Jokeres from your team. Jokeres to Mateta, Stack to Sar or Enzo. That's probably what I do with those free transfers, man. Anish, you say your fifth defender is Anderson. Yeah, that's fair. I like it, man. I like those moves. Wakas Ahmed, hi Gallagher, hope you're well. My FPL team is Pope Gabriel, Timber Senesi, Rodon, Saka Semenyo, Enzo Haaland, João Pedro. Should I play Sar or Reinders? To be honest, Sar's a better FPL pick, but I just think that, Arsenal defense is so solid. Look at the projected goals on this list for Crystal Palace. They are dead last. Like, that is how good Arsenal defense is. So I would start Rangers over him. Michael Indiran says, would you do Kudus to Enzo? I think I would do that. I think I would do that this week. Yeah. Kudus to Enzo. Don't mind it. Ed Vix, hey man, do you think you can give my team a rate? I think I can, man. Send it into the chat. Go for it. Truly says, start Van de Ven or a Stev. I would probably start Paul. That's a close one. And you can see on the clean sheet odds that Burnley and Spurs are neck and neck. They both have 25% clean sheet odds. So maybe I'd just edge it towards... Oh, it's a tough one, you know? I'd probably edge it towards a Stev. Like, Wolves are pretty bad. Yeah, I'd go with Stev. It's a close one, though. Don't come at me when Van de Ven outscores him. Stefan Kosavic says, start 2, Reinders, Rodgers, and Sarr. So, between Reinders and Sarr, I already said I'd start Reinders. And then, yeah, I'd probably start Rodgers as well. Yeah, Rodgers over Sarr. Frank Golden, best defender, 4.1 mil or under for bench boost this game week to replace Anderson. You already have Rodon. I'd probably just go for another 4 mil Leeds defender like Goodmanson. That's probably what I'd go for, Frank. Varfel says, Foden to Semenyo captain is the plan. Late to the party. Fair enough. Too risky to captain others than Haaland. Far behind and want a big rank jump. Yeah, I mean, I like that you've bitten the bullet and you've just gone for Semenyo, which is fair enough. I think a lot of people who haven't had Semenyo up until this point are a bit like reluctant to get him in. So I think, yeah, fair play for just going for it and getting Semenyo in. And then captain and Semenyo is a play. The only thing that puts me off it slightly, because I have thought about it, the only thing that puts me off it slightly is Sean Dyche. Like, he is such a defensive-minded manager, and you can see they've really implemented that straight away against Porto. Now, you maybe just look at that and say, oh, yeah, Porto are, they're a Portuguese league team, so it's not like we expected them to score many goals anyways. The odds were pretty high in Porto's favour, leading up to this match. So Sean Dyche has really shored up their defence. That's the only thing that puts me off Semenyo. The other thing that puts me off Semenyo is the fact that Haaland is a freak. He just keeps on scoring. And Villa just conceded 2 goals to go-ahead Eagles. Need I say more? Dev, hey man, got a tricky one. All right, let's hear it. Was going to do Porro to... I thought you said was going to do a porno. I was like, that does sound pretty tricky. Was going to do Porro to Gabriel, but with the news deciding on Porro to Timber or Roland keeping Porro. Yeah, so if anyone hasn't heard, there is a slight doubt about Gabriel to play this weekend. What I would do is start him anyways, if you have him. Dev, what I would do, mate, is you were going to do Porro to Gabriel, but with the news, you're deciding on Porro to Timber or Roland and keeping Porro. I think you can hold out one more game week for the Arsenal defense. So yeah, I mean, like, you look at this though, and you do see like Spurs odds to keep a clean sheet are very low, but it is Pedro Porro, so he can always get an attack on return. I'd be slightly tempted to hold on to him, to be honest. Io says, sup Stephen, what did you have for lunch today? Thank you for asking, man. I had a chicken wrap. It was very nice. Very nice. What did you have for lunch, Io? You got a couple genuine bench and decision. Mukiela versus Chris Richards and Reinders versus Krupi Jr. Okay, so Mukiela versus Chris Richards, I would say it's so close. I look at the clean sheet odds and I'm like, Arsenal, Crystal Palace 14%, Sunderland 12%. It's only 2% in the difference, but I guess I'd edge it just towards Chris Richards there. And then for Reinders versus Krupi Jr., another tough one. Like, you look at the projected goals, and Bournemouth have 1.76 against Man City's 1.71. I do think that underestimates Nottingham Forest defence slightly, so I'd be tempted to go for Reinders just because, he is the midfielder, so he's going to get more points for an attack and return anyways. So that's what I'd go for Io. Chris Richards and Reinders. All right. Mohammed Hasib says, nice to see your deadline streaming. Thank you very much. Good to have you in the chat, man. LFC Cola, with Gabriel potentially out and Crystal Palace on the eye test being superb in the attack, I'm not too sure whether Raya gets the clean sheet. Whereas even if Dubravka concedes, he will get save points. Yeah, good point. Good point. I think, we saw in the game week last week, Dubravka made some insane saves to keep all of us bench boosters happy. So, yeah, I see what you mean. Going for Dubravka over Raya, it makes sense. I just look at the clean sheet odds. I'm such a guy for that. I mean, like, I look at the clean sheet odds and the bookies know more than we do. They have all these algorithms. They've got it locked down. Arsenal defense is just solid, man. But if you have like double Arsenal defense like I do, I see the logic with going for Dubravka, spreading the risk a little bit. But I'm just gonna back the Arsenal defense, especially because I don't have a Crystal Palace attacker. So like, there's no downside to me going for the double Arsenal defense. With the fact that I don't have anyone playing against them. Michael says, you got 2 free transfers left. Should I switch Kudus to Enzo? Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. Mark in the chat, Arsenal defense is locked up. Absolutely. Absolutely is. Yeah, that Arsenal defense is a joke. Honestly, I think they keep a clean sheet against anyone in the league at any point this season. I think they keep a clean sheet against all 19 other teams at some point this season, whether home or away. Lewis Bamford, Mbumo, Saka or Neto for free transfer? I would probably go for Saka there. Yeah. If you can afford Saka, I like getting him in, and I don't mind that it's against Palace either. Don't mind it too much. Oh, we've got a super chat, sir. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the super chat. I'm going to go straight to you now. So you say you're going to lose your mind. You have 5 free transfers. Okay, first of all, fair play for getting up to 5 free transfers. That is insane. And you have your bench boost. You have Alderete, Gvardiol, Gabriel, Senesi, Tarkowski. Also have Reinders, Stack, and Gyökeres. What should I do? Okay, so I look at this team and like, if you're bench boosting, then Alderete does probably have to go. Oh, sorry, you're not saying you're bench boosting this game week. You just say you have it. So yeah, Alderete isn't a transfer out. As you can see, I have him in my team, and I've no intentions of getting him out anytime soon. Players I would say potentially have to go are Reinders, Stack, Tarkowski possibly. Like this game week, Tarkowski isn't ideal, but after this game week, Tarkowski is quite nice. He plays Sunderland, so I don't mind that. I would say if you have the luxury of, you have 5 free transfers, so definitely make some. You can just do some luxury transfers, I guess. You can just get Alderete out, go for Mukiele, or if you want to go for a Leeds defender, go for Rodon. You can also get rid of Stack, get Xhaka in instead. I know those are sideways moves, but you're going to have to use a free transfer, so I don't mind doing those sideways moves. And then eventually look to get Gyökeres out. I don't think now is the time to do so with how good the fixtures are coming up, but you could just go Gyökeres to Mateta next game week because you're going to have so many free transfers saved up. So fair play for doing that. I can't say the same for myself. I wish I could, but unfortunately not. You're in a better place than most of us with your free transfers. Anthony says, I skipped someone. Wakaz says, thanks a lot, man. I was waiting to get it confirmed from you. Reinders it is, but I'm only afraid of getting him subbed after 60 minutes if he starts. Yeah. It's a tough one with Reinders. Let me know what you guys think in the poll. Should I start Gvardiol or Reinders? I know they're both starting in my team as things stand, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make 2 transfers actually, both free transfers. So you will see, and then I have to make a decision. Who do I start, Reinders or Gvardiol? So if you guys haven't voted in the poll yet, drop a vote now, and I'm gonna keep an eye on those to see. I'll basically let you guys decide if Gvardiol starts for me or Reinders, because it does feel like a bit of a 50-50. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Drop a vote on the poll for Gvardiol or Reinders if you haven't already. Okay, Anthony, start Reinders or Ndiaye? I'd probably just start Ndiaye there. Yeah, on pens. Yeah, I don't mind. He's like the main man for Everton, so I quite like starting him over Reinders. Okay, Aidan Wellens, hi Gallagher. As Gabriel is yellow flagged, who do you think I should start, Van de Ven or Mukiele? I think start Gabriel. Like, guys, I think everyone should be starting Gabriel because he either plays or he doesn't. I don't think he'll just come on if he is injured. I don't think he'll just come on for a few minutes. Famous last words, but I'm going to start Gabriel and then just sort out your bench. Because there is always a chance that Gabriel just plays the full game. Yeah, so start Van de Ven over... Who did I say? Yeah, I would start Van de Ven over Mukiele for sure. On your bench, that is. Put Van de Ven first. Nelson says, hello, I'm playing my free hit this week. Very interesting. Okay, what would be your free hit 11? Well, I'd definitely have triple Chelsea. I'd have triple Liverpool as well. Just as a differential. I'd go for Chelsea, I'd go for, Cucurella, Enzo, João Pedro. For Liverpool, I'd go for Gakpo definitely, Ekitike, Salah. I'd throw Haaland in there as well. I'd try to go maybe triple Arsenal and Newcastle as well. From Newcastle, or maybe just double Newcastle. I'd go like Gordon. I'd go for one of the defenders like Thaw or Botman or Byrne. Throw in Nick Pope in there as well. Obviously, get your Arsenal players in too. I would say look at the projected goals and try to pick the players from from the top of that table. Don't really have time to go through a full free hit 11 right now, but I'm sure you'll whip something up. And if you do, Nelson, comment it in the chat what your free hit is. I want to hear it. Zach Howard, are you transferring this week? I am indeed. I'm making 2 free transfers, but going to save them until about 15 minutes past 6 or 15 minutes before the deadline. So I'll show you guys what I go for. Tom, you say which 3 to start? Gudmundsson, Mickey van de Ven, Xhaka, Mateta. Which 2 to start? Sorry. I definitely start Mateta. I know they don't have the highest projected goals, but he's on penalties. And then between Xhaka, Gudmundsson, and van de Ven, I'd probably start Gudmundsson. Yeah, highest clean sheet odds between him and Mickey van de Ven. And obviously Xhaka plays Chelsea, so not the best fixture for him. Okay, you say, Guy says, start 1, Xavi, Foster, Rangers. I'd probably start Rangers there. Varfel, I have Paquetá in tonight's game. Not ideal after watching West Ham last game, hoping for a penalty. Yeah, it's not ideal, but they do play Leeds, so not the worst fixture. I'd say you can hold on to him for this game week and then have a plan to get Paquetá out of your team after that. Ravinda Anjana says, hi Stephen, who to start? Between Lyle Foster, Elliot Anderson, Dorgu and Lacroix. Also I got Gabriel who is flagged, so kind of a mess. Yeah, not ideal, but I would start Gabriel anyways. Starting between Foster, Elliot Anderson and Dorgu and Lacroix. Between Dorgu and Lacroix, it looks like Man United have higher clean sheet odds. Then it's like Anderson. Who do they play again? Forest play Bournemouth. I'd be tempted by Anderson there because I just see him as like a guaranteed DEFCON. You're going to get 4 points from him. So I'd just go for Anderson there is what I'd probably do. Not ideal, but I wouldn't want to start the other 3, yeah. Anderson. Tom. Oh, I've already done yours. Sorry, man. Okay, Neil Cheeseman says, any Leeds team news and stack or Rangers to bench? Don't have any update on Leeds team news. You know what, while you ask that, let me just have a quick look so I can actually give you a proper response. Let's see if, I don't think anyone's ever asked me for Leeds team news, but that's what FPL is for at the end of the day, isn't it? Okay, let's have a quick little look. Okay, so we got Arsenal. Let me fly through these. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United. No Leeds team news, unfortunately. That's not something top of everyone's list, but I'm sure Stack is going to play, and I'd probably start him over Rangers. Tom, who to start, Dubravka or Raya? I already have Saka and Timber. Yeah, I still like Raya, just based off the clean sheet odds. Alexander Spasic says, triple captain Semenyo, let's go. Mate, fair play to you. You have some big set of balls on you there, mate. Really like it. Blue Cheesies, JW, Gakpo or Rangers? I definitely go Gakpo. Plays Brentford. He's on form. Yeah. Thomas Shelby, sup bro? Hello to you, Tommy. Should I bench boost this week? Your benches Dubravka, nice. Gudmundsson, also nice. Rangers and Byrne, 100% bench boost that. Yeah, that's a really nice bench boost. Tommy Shelby, mate. Yasmin D, hey mate, hope all is well. Would you recommend I go for Dan Byrne, James or Chalobah? I would go for, if you're getting a Newcastle defender in, I'm very tempted by Thaw, or however you pronounce it. Because I think Dan Byrne and Botman in the long term will share some minutes. But from what I've heard from Newcastle fans, sounds like Thaw is the go-to. But if you just want to go for a Chelsea defender, I'd probably skip Reece James because of his injury record and just go for Chalobah. Because Reece James obviously has the injury record. I know he's been playing consistently recently, but at the same time, you can't expect him to do that, and they know about his injury record, so he will get rotated. So I'd go for Chalobah if you're going for a Chelsea defender, but at the moment, I'm actually looking at a Newcastle defender. A bit team dependent for me, obviously, because I need a defender to play in game week 10, and I'll show you guys my plans. But yeah, I'd go for the Newcastle defender, whether you go for Burn or Thaw. I think they're both good picks. I mean, Memento says, Alderete. Oh, sorry, you're replying to Sir. You say def Alderete out at least. So 1 transfer minimum if you want to bench boost. So you stay at 5 transfers after this game week. Or do like me, you had 5 free transfers, used all of them to prepare for your bench boost, got 35 points from your bench boost. Wow, that's insane. Fair play. Yeah, to be fair, Sir, I know I answered your question, but if you are bench boosting this game week, then definitely try to have all playing players, which means you would have to transfer Alderete out. Eddie Casey, hi Stephen, I got Richards on bench. Would you sell him for Munoz and then bench Reinders? That would mean you play a 4-3-3. No, I wouldn't do that because they play Arsenal. So I just don't see it worth doing getting a Crystal Palace player in this game week. I think it's fine to bench Richards. Sanjay Patel, mate, last game week I asked if I should be Gyökeres and Van de Ven to Mateta and Timber. I won't say what you thought of that move, lol. Yeah, if you asked me about that move last game week, I mean, like, I would love to hear what I actually said about it. I'm trying to remember, like, what the fixtures were last game week. Because every transfer decision I make is based off the fixtures. So it's going to have to do with that. By the way, guys, the poll, it just shifted. Yeah, 60 votes in the poll, and it's a complete 50-50. That just goes to show how difficult this decision is. If you haven't voted yet for Gvardiol or Rangers, drop a vote right now because we cannot decide who to start. I know, like I said already, I have both of them starting in the image here. But after my transfers, I will have to make a decision. I'll show you my transfers eventually, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. And whatever one you guys pick, I'll start. I'll do that now because I do think it's quite a 50-50, as you can see right now. Guy says, start 1, Xavi, Foster, Reinders. I think I answered this already. I'd probably start Reinders. Sir, I mean, Memento, wow, 35 points bench boost is crazy. I agree, that is absolutely crazy. Nathan Davies, afternoon, my man. In a dilemma, who to transfer in, João Pedro or Mateta? Definitely don't transfer in João Pedro this game week. If you are making a forward transfer, yeah, go for Mateta. Yeah, I know he's probably not going to do much this game week, but over the long term, he is a good pick. Alexander, I was about to bench boost, but Gabriel being flagged made me withdraw that one. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Anthony here saying, I hope Gabriel is out, even if for a week. When Saliba and bro keeps just getting six pieces. I don't know what you said there, but yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I hope Gabriel is in, obviously. I think a lot of us do. So yeah, not ideal. Amina, you finished the week on 120 points. That is huge. Your rank gain must have been absolutely massive. Thailand, bench 1, Tarkowski, stack, Mateta. I would be benching Tarkowski there, I think. Yeah. So hey, that is a tough pull. I think both will start, but Rangers will have less minutes. I'd also start stack over Rangers. You would start stack over Rangers? Yeah, fair. Yeah, so would I. Yeah, it's not an easy one. Good to have you in the chat, man. But yeah, let me know what you think about. Yeah, Gvardiol Rangers. It's such a tough one. It is so tough. Like, I look at Villa and I'm like, they can't score, but they also can concede. It's just like Haaland probably hogs all the goals. It's a tough one, man. 11-11. Saka and Gabriel not pictured in training. I didn't hear Saka wasn't pictured. That's a surprise. I do think he'll play, but I'm not sure. Mark Gallagher, what's up, bro? That's my little bro for anyone who doesn't know. Just got back into the stream. Is Gabriel a no-go and Gravenberg? Yeah, looks like Gabriel is, according to Arteta, a no-go. But that literally means fuck all when it comes to Arteta. Like, Arteta just says the most random bullshit, and like, I guarantee you Gabriel will start the game. He said he's touch and go, but like, knowing him, he'll just play anyways. So if you have Gabriel, start him. And he'll either play or he doesn't. Just make sure you sort your bench, in order of who you would place Gabriel with. And then, yeah, Alexander miming exactly what I said. Knowing Arteta, Gabriel starts and plays 90. 100%. Anachronism, what are the chances Gvardiol starts? That's a good question. Let's have a quick little look at the predicted lineups for Man City. So, looking at the Man City predicted lineups, it looks like Gvardiol has an 88% chance of starting. And Rangers has a 100% chance of starting. The thing with Gvardiol again is like, if he's on the bench, I don't think he comes on. Rainey, Gabriel, Alderete, and Anderson all flagged. Would you make a transfer to get Van de Ven out, and for who? Yeah, I would get Van de Ven out. I think I would, and maybe that's a little hint at one of my transfers this game week. It depends how much money you have. If you're going for another 4.5 odd, defender, I'd go for like Richards, Keane. If you're going for, if you have a bit more money, I'd also like, one of the Newcastle defenders, Dan Burn or Thaw. Tokurist, Sar or Kudus. Ooh, tough one. Tough one, man. I'd probably start Kudus, Not as good as an FPL pick, but I think he just, I just think Spurs will have more chances to score than Crystal Palace will this weekend. Okay, Oscar. OG plan was Gvardiol to Thaw and Rangers to Enzo, but you have Gabriel, Anderson and Alderete all injured now. Advice, stay patient, ? Yeah, I mean, in that case, I'd hold on to, Gvardiol and Rangers. It's a tough one. Like, were you going to start all three of Gabriel, Anderson and Alderete? Because, you can still do Gvardiol to Thaw or Rangers to Enzo. Depends on how many of those you had starting, So I think, the Gabriel news, I'd take it with a pinch of salt anyways. But yeah, it depends on the rest of your defense and who you planned to, would you bench any of those? And I can't properly give an answer. Anachronism, Romero, Gvardiol, Rangers to Burn, Richards, Enzo, or Gyökeres, Rangers to Saka and Krupp Jr. I like the first set more, I gotta be honest. Romero, Gvardiol, Rangers to Burn, Richards and Enzo, I like that a lot. If that's for free, I really like it. Mark Edwards, hello mate, welcome to the stream. You say, hi Stephen, what to do with Isak? Great fixtures soon, don't want to use transfers to go out and back. Other forwards, Haaland and Volta Messi, but don't want to miss points in the short term. Mark in Cornwall. Well, Mark in Cornwall, I would say what to do with Isak is, if you already have him in, I do think he is a transfer out. And I'd probably go for, you have Haaland and Volta Messi, as you say. I love that. I'd probably just go for Mateta and get him in. Over the long term, I think Mateta is probably a better pick than Isak, because it sounds like all the news coming in about Isak is that it's a bit of a recurrent injury for him. So I think probably just wise to get rid of him this game week. Boots on the table says, evening Stephen. Hello to you too. Bench 2, Raya, Dubravka. Okay, between Raya and Dubravka, I'd start Raya, as you can see in my team. Then bench 2 of Stack, Rodon, Rangers. I mean, I'm not sure if you mean bench one of them, because you included the keepers as well, but I'll just give you my order of how I would bench those guys. So I would start Stack and Rodon over Rangers. Between Stack and Rodon, I'd probably start Stack over Rodon. So I'd go, in terms of who to start, Stack, Rodon, Rangers. Neil Cheeseman, why not consider Van de Ven over Rangers and Gvardiol? Yeah, I just don't rate Villa at all, and I think Everton are a decent attack. Amin says, for my rank, you had minus 68 going from 2.7 mil to 800k. So you went in Game Week 5, you were ranked 7 mil, and now you're 800k. That is crazy, bro. Anachronism, you say you would start Goodmanson and Stack ahead of Gvardiol and Rangers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably would as well, which is crazy that we're starting Leeds players over Man City players, but West Ham are so bad. I agree. I'd start the Leeds players. Tokurist says, bro, should I start double Arsenal defender? Yeah, man, join the bus. Hop on it. John Rodders, Esteve or Mukiele if Gabriel is out. What I would do is I'd start Gabriel, and then in terms of your bench order between Esteve and Mukiele, I'd go Esteve first on your bench and then Mukiele. GV Subramanian says, would Aitnuri start this game against Villa? So let me check the odds for that. Right now, Aitnuri has a 0% chance of starting against Villa. So that's just what all the predictors have him as. So no, Aitnuri isn't back. He's not ready to go. Tommy Shelby, do you have any news on Saka? No news on Saka. I mean, let's go back to the prediction odds. It looks like Saka has a 100% chance to start. I know he wasn't pictured in training, but I still think he's good to go. Jeevan Gill, welcome to the chat. You still have your bench boost. Should I do Victor Groceries? So groceries and Bruno Fernandes to Mateta and Saka, or delay a week. Should I do Tarkowski down to Van Heck and Reinders to Enzo, or all four, or roll? So I do think hold on to, groceries and Fernandes, just because, Mateta and Saka, it's a tough game to predict how that's going to go, It's a tough game. And obviously the Gyökeres to Saka move is quite sideways. In terms of Tarkowski to Van Heck and Reinders to Enzo, I really like that. I don't think a lot of people are going for Brighton players, but I do think they're a bit underrated. I do think the Brighton players are being a bit overlooked. So yeah, I like those second moves. Go for those two. Okay, Sohail, you've sent your team in. Let's have a look at it. You've got Raya, Timber, Gabriel. Oh my God, triple Arsenal defense is huge. Then Senesi. You've got Bruno vice-captain, Reinders, Stack, Foden, Ndiaye, Haaland, João Pedro, Dubravka, Mateta, Lacroix, and Anderson on the bench. You've got 2 free transfers. Should you do Lacroix to Rodon / Mukiele so you can do Reinders to Enzo? Okay, so what I will ask Sohail is that I do like those moves. The only thing is that I like them for this game week. But then, do you have a plan to get a Crystal Palace defender in after this game week? Because obviously their fixtures swing massively. So let me know what your plan is with Newcastle defenders. Because obviously getting Lacroix out this week makes sense. But if you don't have a plan to get them back in, I don't like it as much. But I do obviously love the fact that you're funding the Reinders to Enzo move. I'm just trying to see, is there another way you can do that? It's a tough one. I don't think it's worth it, because I know it's nice to get Enzo in this game week, but I don't think you have to break your team to necessarily do it. Let me know what is your plan in terms of getting a Crystal Palace player back in. Because if you're saying these moves like Lacroix to, let's say, Rodon is who I would go for between him and Mukiele. Lacroix to Rodon and Reinders to Enzo this game week. But let's say you also plan to do get who else do you have? To go I don't know, Anderson up to Munoz or to Richards or something like that next game week, then I like those moves this game week. Hope that answers your question. So Haller7 says, hey Stephen, would you sell Paquetá or Sarr to get Enzo Fernandez? Could also transfer Anderson to Chalobah and bench Sarr. Only have one transfer. So Haller, I would not be selling Sarr at all. If you're able to go Paquetá to Enzo, that is the move. I know Paquetá plays Leeds this game week, but Leeds are no pushover in defence. And Sarr is such a good FPL pick. I would 100% keep him in your team and just bench him and do Paquetá to Enzo if you can afford that. And you could also transfer Anderson to Chalobah. I don't know if Anderson is a transfer out, because his fixtures in game week 10, they swing massively as well. So I'd hold on to him. John Rodders, Esteve or Mukiele if Gabriel out. Cheers from Texas. Where in Texas do you live, John? Because my brother lives in Texas as well. He actually plays for Austin FC. So if you're an MLS fan at all, my brother plays for an MLS team in Texas, Austin FC. Maybe you're in Austin and you go to those games. Let me know. But to answer your question, Esteve or Mukiele, I think I answered this already. Start Gabriel and then sort your bench out in order. So you go Esteve first and then Mukiele is how I would do it on your bench. Oscar, your OG plan was to start Gabs, Senesi and Thaw and the other 2 on the bench. Yeah, I like that. Getting Thaw in there is good. Psycho Bingo says, good evening Gallagher. Is the Gio hype real? I have him and think I'll start him, keeping all my 3 Palace players on my bench. 2 defenders and Sarr. Yes, soon. Apparently he's back soon. He's touch and go right now, but he will be back very soon. So in the long term, the Gio hype is overrated. But this game week, I do think he'll start. So I'd go for it. I love it as a differential. Kind of wish I still had him. Jay Dubon says, who would you start between Sarr and Reinders? Between Sarr and Reinders, I'd probably just start Reinders. Guys, it is 6 p.m. here in London. So with half an hour to go until the deadline, make sure you start thinking about your transfers. I mean, we do have some time. But if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like. And if you're not, subscribe to the channel. I mean, I only do this part-time. Obviously, I have a full-time job outside of FPL, but any help counts. If you guys can just click a few buttons to help me out here. I mean, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel. This is the only time I'll ask it. Maybe once more before we end off, but yeah, I like to just throw it in there. And also, guys, if you haven't drop a vote in the poll because it is very close between Gvardiol and Rangers. 53% to Gvardiol, 47% to Rangers. It is really touch and go. Whichever one you guys vote, I'm going to start in my team. As you can see, both are starting right now, but I will change that once I make my transfers. So, yeah, whoever you guys vote for, I'm going to start in my team. Hand to heart, I'll do it. Okay, keeping on with the questions, guys. Nikolai Moller says, hi, mate. Welcome back to the stream. Good to have you in. Just want to say hi as always. I feel I'm in a good spot with my team, so I wanted to be a bit aggressive this round and risky. So you did Rangers to Enzo and Vardiol to Reece James. I love it, man. Getting 2 Chelsea defenders in for this run is unreal. I love it. Yeah, if your team's in a really good spot, then why not? And then you send in your team. You have Raya, Gabriel, James, Senesi, Indai, Enzo, Saka, Semenyo, Voltemata, Haaland, and João Pedro with Tarkowski as first sub. I love it. You know, you may need that Tarkowski first sub when Gabriel doesn't start. Maybe he does start. We'll see. Oh, we have got a super chat, and it's Bob Jaburi again. Bob Jaburi with another super chat. Absolutely love it, man. Thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate it. So here's your question. I'm going to go straight to you now that you've done it. 2 questions. Do I bench boost Dubravka, Senesi, Rodon, Stack if I'm starting Rangers, Foden, and Gabriel? Okay, so I know a lot of people are thinking about not bench boosting if they have Gabriel. I wouldn't let it put it off you too much. I wouldn't let it put it off you too much because I just think Gabriel will start anyways. And, you know, I just think that Arteta's talking a load of bollocks. But you have Dubravka against Wolves away, which is lovely. You've got Senesi against Forest at home, which is even better. Rodon and Stack against West Ham at home. I mean, if that's not a bench boost, I really don't know what is. And then you just have to hope that Gabriel starts. I wouldn't do a transfer to get rid of Gabriel because of the doubt. I'd still go for the bench boost, Bob. Then to answer your second question, should I do Stack or Rangers to Enzo for free? If you can do Rangers to Enzo for free, that is a beautiful bench boost. Because obviously you have to think about your starting 11 too. If you can do Rangers to Enzo for free, then 100% go for it. And keep Stack just because he plays West Ham this game week. Yeah, I like it, man. Thanks again for the super chat. Hopefully that helped. And yeah, really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's fly on through the rest of these questions, guys. We're making good progress. So, Anachronism again. Who is a more safe pick, Thaw or Burn? And should I get Anderson instead? Because maybe at 10 or 11, I will see Richards anyway for him. So between Thaw and Burn, I want to have a quick little look at the Newcastle, predicted starting lineup. Let's have a little look. So right now, it looks like both of them are 100% chance to start. I think it is tricky with those guys. So what I've heard, and I've done a lot of research on Newcastle defenders today, it's such a tricky one because I just see it as like Burn and Botman are the 2 that are going to rotate apparently, and not anytime now, but once Hall is back. So once Lewis Hall is back, apparently Dan Burn and Botman will be the ones to rotate because they're both the left-sided centre backs. Thaw apparently has just been unreal. Like, apparently he's been so good, and his data is quite solid as well. So if I was getting a Newcastle defender in, I'd probably go for Thaw. As it's crazy to say, but I think he is maybe even the safer pick than Dan Burn. We'll see. Tokuris, -4 for Enzo. I have Caicedo. I don't think I'd be doing a -4 for him. Don't think so. Giovanni, back in the chat. Good to have you. You say 3 free transfers. Going for Foden, Xavi, Mitoma to Mbumo, Gakpo, Enzo. Last time here, I decided not to buy Mateta. Still fuming. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I'd be fuming as well, but is what it is. That's FPL at the end of the day. So to answer your question, you're going Foden, Xavi, Mitoma to Mbumo, Gakpo, Enzo. Oh man, those are great transfers. Those are fantastic. I like the Mbumo shout. I mean, I do know it's a bit of a risk, but that's what FPL is about, you know. The thing is with Mitoma, I don't mind holding on to him. So maybe if you can do the other moves, I'm not sure if you're able to fund it. I think Mitoma may be a slight hold. And I talked about it in my video this game week. I don't mind holding on to Brighton assets with their fixtures coming up. I will say that. So if you can do the other moves, Foden and Xavi to, let's say, Gakpo, Enzo, I would do that. Nikolai Kunewa says, who to start? Giu, Kudus, Richards, Gudmundsson, Dewsbury Hall, and Senesi. I mean, it depends how many of these you want to start. Oh, you have to bench 3, so I read further down. Bench 3 of GU. I'd start GU. Kudus, Richards, Goodmanson, Dewsbury Hall, Senesi. So I'd start GU, Senesi, and then you have to bench 3. So that means I'd be benching. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so bench 3, start 3. I'd start GU, Senesi, and Goodmanson. Bench. Are you bench Kudus, Richards? Yeah, definitely bench Richards, Kudus, and Dewsbury Hall. That hopefully that clears it up. Boots on the table, rolling this week. Game week 10 with 3 free transfers. Pedro, Stack, Rangers for Mateta, Sarr, and Rice. Thoughts? Yeah, I like it. You're rolling this game week, which is nice. A lot of people are putting out loads of fires, so fair play to you. Game week 10 with 3 free transfers. You've got Pedro, Stack, Rangers for Mateta, Sarr, and Rice. Not so sure about the Rice move. Like, you could technically hold on to Stack, and I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know if you need to do Stack to Rice is what I'm looking at compared there, you know? But I like the other moves. Getting Mateta and Sarr in, love it, man. Prashant Sharma says, how about Ryan Gravenberch chance of playing? So let me answer your question real quick. Ryan Gravenberch's chance of playing. I'm sure he'll be pretty high up there, but let's just have a quick look just so it's less of a guess and more of a, an educated guess, let's say. Okay, Gravenberch only has an 11% chance of starting, lads. So you may want to have a look into that if you own him. You may want to have a look into that. GV Subramaniam says, do stats indicate that Spurs scored slightly more goals in away matches than in home games? I'm not so sure on that. I don't have the time to go into the details of that currently, but you may just have to go over like their previous games and see how it's looking. But I have to try get everyone else's questions done here. But in general, teams will score less away from home. Nikolai Kunewa says, I answered that already. Abi Sheikh says, start Raya or Dubravka considering Gabriel's injury. I don't think Arsenal defensive injuries really impact their clean sheet odds because their replacements are all so good. I'd still start Raya just because you look at the clean sheet odds and, Arsenal are top of the table. Benji, which 3 of these should I start? GU, Rangers, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Porro, and Juve. I would start GU. I'd start between those 3. It's between the other. It's tough. So I'd probably start Rangers as well and Dewsbury Hall and bench Porro and Juve. Yeah. Tough one though. Tough one. FPL Hawk, do I start Sarr or Goodmanson? Even though I got Bowen too. Yeah, I'd probably start Goodmanson. Honestly, those clean sheet odds are pretty high. Mohamed Naji, what about Gordon to Enzo? I wouldn't do that. I quite like Gordon as a little differential pick. And he's picking up some form as well, so I'd hold on to him. KM, Saka or Enzo? This game week, I would say Enzo. But over the long term, Saka definitely outscores him. Anachronism, tell me if this move is better than the previous one. Raya, Vardiol, Romero, Reinders to Sanchez, Timber, Richards, Anderson, Enzo Fernandez. I can't remember what your previous transfers were. There's been so many. It's hard to keep track of who's who. But looking at this, you're getting rid of Raya. I mean, I just don't know if getting rid of Raya is worth a transfer. If this is for free, I get it. But like Vardiol, Romero, Reinders to Timber, Richards, and Enzo, I love those 3. Love those 3 moves. Psycho Bingo, good evening, Gallagher. Is the GU hype real? Oh, sorry, I answered that already. Yeah, the GU hype is real for this weekend, but in the long term, Delap will be back. Good luck, everyone, says Jeevan Gill. Agreed. Good luck to everyone this weekend. Dan Burnett, hello, my friend. Trust you've got a decent cup this week. Dan, I do indeed. I don't know, can you see that? There you go. I've got a big Stein glass. There you go. It's not a cup of joe like I had last Saturday morning, but it'll do. Glass of water for now. Don't want to be too caffeinated. Sohail says, I was indeed planning to get Munoz in later. Plan is to sell João Pedro later for maybe Thiago and then Rodon back out for Munoz. Sohail, in that case, I think, you said not 100%, but defo plan for Munoz. Yeah, I think in that case, go for those moves. Huge upgrade this game week. and you get to, you know, get Munoz back in, he is the, like Lacroix isn't a great pick. We thought he would be a DEFCON monster. It's just not turned out that way this season. So yeah, I'd go for those moves. I actually quite like it. As long as you're planning to get Munoz back in, go for it. Amin says Sarr in versus Arsenal or Bowen versus Leeds. Definitely Bowen versus Leeds for sure. Robert Mulally. Oh, sorry, Anachronism. You said for -4. Yeah, I don't think you need to do the Raya to Sanchez moves unless that funds everything. But even then, I wouldn't do the -4. Robert Mulally. Hey Stephen, how goes it? It goes very well, my friend. One free transfer. Wanted Gabriel, but won't risk that now. Understandably. So Timber or Cucurella. Chelsea have the handier fixture. What say you? Yes, Chelsea do have the handier fixture, but Arsenal still have higher clean sheet odds. And in the long term, they are a better defence, better pick. I'd go for Timber. I'd go for Timber there. Sir says, this game gives me anxiety. Mate, tell me about it. I have to post my rank every game week. Imagine how bad it is for me. Eddie Casey, hi Stephen, I'm new to the channel. You got one free transfer. Would you sell Tarkowski or keep? If sell, buy Munoz or burn for long term? Well, first of all, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you in the deadline stream. So I know people are selling Tarkowski and I understand it. I just think his fixtures do pick up after this one. So I would hold on to him. If you were to sell him, I would go burn. Not for the long term. I think Munoz is better long term, but I do like Burn's immediate fixtures. Lauda, you say, sorry, there's been quite a few. I need to go through these fast because we've only got 15 minutes to go, lads. Oh yeah, Robert Mulally says, by the way, let's help Stephen's channel out. 92 votes yet, only 7 likes on the stream. Guys, 7 likes on the stream. Let's turn those let's turn that up a bit. I never actually saw that it was that low. So yeah, guys, what are you doing? Get the likes into the stream. As I said already, I'm trying to build a community here. So yeah, would love if you guys could drop a like on the stream. That would be huge. It's just a button click. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 10,000 subs by the end of the season. I say that every video, but we're just not quite getting there. I need something to change, but listen, we'll get there eventually. My alarm is about to go off for me to make my transfers. So on that note, let me show you guys what I'm thinking of doing for my transfers. So I want to put this here very quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's see how that looks. Is that... Okay, yeah, you guys can see this. So I'm on Plan FPL here. So I want to show you guys what my plan is. It's changed, you know, over the week. And basically, what I decided previously was to do Xavi Simons, who has been an absolutely terrible FPL pick, I have to say. Like, I thought it'd be such a nice little differential to go for, but he's just been poo. So let's say I go for Enzo. And I do have I do have 2 free transfers to use. So I'd line up like this, right? But then in game week 10, I have to basically... First of all, if Gabriel doesn't play this game week, I'm in trouble because then I have Van de Ven against Everton, which I do not want. But then next game week, I'm in more trouble because I don't think Gvardiol, you know, I don't think he does much against... I don't think Man City keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth, even at home. I don't think that Sunderland keep a clean sheet against Everton, who have been such a good attack. I can't really say Van de Ven, you know, Spurs will keep a clean sheet against Chelsea, or that Forest will keep a clean sheet against Man City and Haaland. So I'm already in a really tough spot here. The plan would be to go Gvardiol to Munoz, which looks really nice. And I have 2 free transfers, so I can also do like Van de Ven and I would go for a Newcastle defender here. Let's say Thaw. So then I can fix out my defense. Obviously, I don't have any Crystal Palace attackers here, but the defense needs fixing next game week if these are my moves. But if I'm going to get Thaw in anyways next game week, why wouldn't I get him in this game week when, obviously for 2 reasons. First of all, I think that Newcastle have higher clean sheet odds than Man City do. And let me just confirm that with this right here. We can see very quickly that Newcastle do indeed have higher clean sheet odds than Man City down here. It is marginal, but they do have higher clean sheet odds. So why wouldn't I just do those moves this game week? You know? So the plan this game week, and you know what? I'm just going to go onto my official FPL app and do it here so you guys can see the moves in real time. The plan is, lads, Xavi out, and I'm actually going to go Van de Ven out, right? So I'll explain this. Essentially, if I do Van de Ven out, I'll go back here. I can get Xavi out for Enzo, and I can do Van de Ven out, and I can just about afford, I can go Burn, but I'm going to go Thaw because I think apparently he's a slightly safer pick. According to Newcastle fans, who I'm going to trust, his data looks good. He's started all the past 4 games, 90 minutes, I think, thereabouts. And in the long term, he's got that right centre-back spot nailed down over Schär. So I'm going to go for that and then do this, which means that Gvardiol, actually, I say this now, who am I starting in this team? So let me do these moves real quick. Let me do these moves. So I'm going to get Thaw in, and I'm going to get Enzo in. Leaves him with 0.2 mil in the bank. Van de Ven out, Xavi out. So those 2 Spurs lads are gone from my team. I'm sorry, boys, but you've got to go. Confirm, right? So that means that I've got to start one of Gvardiol or Reinders. Let's have a quick little look at the stream and see who is the guy. Who is it going to be? So let me go here real quick. Who do you guys say? At this point, Gvardiol is the one to start over Reinders. I mean, I kind of like it. I'm looking at Reinders and I'm like, oh, is he going to just bang against Aston Villa? Like, if he goes big, he is the attacker. So, like, I usually just back the attacker. And, like, it's not like Gvardiol is a player to get, big DEFCON points. So it's not even like a safer pick. But you guys say go for Gvardiol. I mean, I'm going to close this. I'm going to keep it open for now. Let's do Reinders on the bench for now. A sweaty little 4 at the back, lads. Sweaty little 4 at the back. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to remove this, and I'm just going to put, whoopsie, that's the stream, the back end of the stream. Here we go. So let me go like this for now, and you guys can see what I'm planning. I mean, it's not ideal, but we have to make a decision on who to start. So I think I'll go for this for now, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, boys. I mean, it's not an easy decision to make. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. I mean, drop a vote in the poll if you haven't already on who to start, Reinders or Gvardiol, and I'll just go for whatever you guys say. And while you're dropping a vote in the poll, drop a like on the stream as well. FYI, guys, 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go until the deadline. So I'm going to fly through some of these guys. Some of these questions. Sohail, you say, you're going Mukiele over Rodon. I'll only be using Mukiele for the home games, and he'll be out for Munoz later anyways. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I like the idea of going for just, if you only need to play him in the home games. Makes sense. Like it, man. Boots on the Table says, Stephen, following my previous comment about boost this game week, you could go for Chalobah. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember. I could go back, but I'm getting so many comments in. I want to try fly through these here. I can't remember what you said though. Gvardiol 2-pointer, someone said. Yeah, that would be devastating. That would be devastating. I mean, it is always within the realms of possibility. But yeah, that's FPL for you. You've got to make these 50-50 decisions sometimes, and it just looks like that 50-50 decision could be Gvardiol or Reinders. So yeah, not ideal for me. I'm gonna put this on my screen now, just so you guys have something nice to look at. There you go. I treat you guys a little bit, and let me swing this over to my other screen, and I'll add it into my. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, listen, it's not ideal with this 50-50 decision. I was tempted to go for Gvardiol over Reinders anyways, but there's something about it that I'm like, I should just go for the attacker. Like, it just makes more sense to go for the attacking option, as always, really. But there's just something about Gvardiol this game week. I'm like, you know what? He could do it. He could do it for me. I don't know. Do you guys agree? I don't know. Is that am I being a bit hopeful there. Like, oh, it's tough. It's tough. The thing is, I probably will go through all this turmoil, who to start, and then it just ends up being, Gabriel doesn't start, and I wasted all that time for nothing thinking about Rangers versus Gvardiol, and Rangers just comes on for Gabriel anyways. But such is FPL. All this turmoil for what? For what? Who said earlier that this game stresses me out and makes me so anxious? I mean, join the club, buddy. Join the club. Okay, I'll put on my updated team on the page now so you guys can see this is what we're working with. Let me know what you guys think, who I should start. So, Hale, you say, I agree with you starting Gvardiol over Rangers. Okay, LFC Cola, Rangers needs to start. Floor on both is relatively low since Gvardiol doesn't get DEFCON often. Rangers' upside is far greater. That is a good point about the upside, because I think about the floor and it's like, what the thing is, right? Man City's clean sheet odds are 31%, so I have a 1 in 3 chance of Gvardiol doing anything, and then it's like, what are let's have a quick look at Rangers XG so far this season, because I would be interested to see how he is looking. I have him in my team anyway, so I haven't been too vigilant on how that's looked. But, like, it really isn't that high. Like, it really isn't that high. Full profile on Rangers says that he has an XGI of 0.25. So, technically, Rangers should score get a return, let's say, 1 in every 4 games. Whereas City have a 1 in 3 chance of a clean sheet here. So that would lean me towards, just based off the maths there, I'm thinking I go for Gvardiol because he has a 1 in 3 chance. What do you think, lads? He is also lower owned. So this is the thing with that, he's lower owned. Oh, here we go, sir, with another super chat. You say you have 5 free transfers, bench boost to play, and not a clue what to do. Classic FPL. So based off your team, I think you can hold on to the bench boost. You don't absolutely have to use it this game week, because from what you said earlier, it looks like there's a bit of turmoil on that, and there's a lot of decisions to be made, transfers to be made. I think with those 5 free transfers, you just do a few sideways moves. You do, Alderete to Rodon, and then maybe you can build a bench boost with those 5 free transfers. Like, you have to use them eventually. You do have to use them eventually. Classic FPL. I mean, the turmoil we put ourselves through. So, Hale, a good point you make there. Rangers' minutes aren't guaranteed. He could be subbed around 58 minutes again. This is my thinking. This is exactly my thinking. I mean, now I'm just hoping that Gabriel doesn't start, and that, like, I don't have to think about this at all anymore over the weekend. It just, like, it just is, Rangers get subbed on. The closer we get to the deadline, I mean, it looks like Gvardiol has more votes. Guys, if you're still here, then drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. I mean, it makes a big difference for me, so I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm more and more tempted. I did say, listen, I said I would go for whoever you guys voted for. It is a 50-50 at the end of the day, so we might as well have a bit of fun. It looks like Gvardiol is just slightly edging it over Rangers. So I'm going to go Gvardiol. Jay says Gakpo over Enzo. Tough one. That is a very tough one. I don't think there's a world in which you don't start both of them. I'd love to hear the rest of your midfield or your forward line, because ideally you just start both of those guys over many other players. Eddie, you said you're new to the channel. Welcome. Sell Tarkowski to get in Munoz or Burn. I don't know. Okay, Munoz or Burn. Yeah, I mean, for this game week, definitely Burn. But in the long term, I think is what you mean. I'd go for Munoz for sure. Sohail, number 1 manager on FPL Research, Tom Dollimore, has gone Gvardiol over Rangers. We have an answer. Yes. I mean, Tom Dollimore is probably I would say the best FPL manager of all time. I know everyone says Fabio Borge, but if you look at recent rank history, like Tom Dollimore's rank history over the past 5 years is absolutely insane. I know last year, I know Sohail, you saw all my videos last year. I used to open every video saying that I was number 3 in the world over the past 3 seasons in FPL for points total. And one of the websites the website that I used to see that actually had, I think Tom Dollimore was number 1. So like over the past 3 years, he's insane. But he's also been playing the game for like 10 plus years. So yeah, his rank history is absolutely nuts. So I'm loving that you digged that up. I'm loving that you digged that up. Huge. So guys, while I have you, let me, I mean, I can just post my team on Twitter now that we're here. Okay. I can do it after the stream. I'll try to get a few more of your guys' questions done while we're here. You said, Mohammed, please give your opinion of my previous comment. Hard to scroll through. Let me try find it. Just say it again and I'll try get to it. Sorry, man. I can't find it at the moment. Paddy O'Callaghan, how's it going, lad? Start Munoz or Mukiela? That is so tough. I'd probably just go Munoz. Like, you look at those clean sheet odds, like Palace have 14% clean sheet odds, Sunderland 12%, so that already edges it in Munoz's favour. But then on top of that, he's basically a winger. So yeah, I'd go for Munoz. I mean, Paddy, you are absolutely flying, by the way, in FPL. Like, you are flying. Top 1 million already is a great place to be by game week 9, after game week 8. So yeah, fair play, man. Fair play. Sway says, is Vardio starting? No confirmation on that yet. So it's hard to say. You know, while we're here, let me get this over here. You guys can see what I'm gonna post for my, I mean, can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. Cool. All right, I'm gonna post my team. Let me just copy and paste the format I used in the last video. So in the last post even. Game week 9, what did I just do? I did Xavi to Enzo. But before that, I actually did a defensive move. I did Van de Ven to Theo. And I'm going to captain Haaland. Let me just make sure I am actually captaining Haaland before I do that. Okay, captain Haaland. Should I pick a vice captain? Who do I have? João Pedro? Yeah, happy enough with that, to be honest. Happy enough with that. Okay. Let's see. And I'll just throw this. Boom. Sweaty little 4 at the back. Boom. There is my plans for this game week, lads. There we go. So you know what my moves are. Right, lads? There we go. And on that note, it is 12:30. So the deadline has come swift and fast this game week. I mean, that's the thing with these, you know, with these 6:30 p.m. on Friday deadlines. They're so, like, it catches so many people out. So, Hale, you're a madman. You've gone Bruno over Haaland for captain. Got to be in it to win it. Holy moly, that is huge. That is a huge, huge call. I mean, I know a lot of people were looking at a few other options for captaincy, like Semenyo, João Pedro, Enzo. I didn't hear a lot of people going for Bruno. That is big. That's definitely a Man United supporter if I've ever heard of one. So, fair play to you there, man. That is huge. I hope it goes well for you. That is massive. But lads, I would love to stick around as per usual, but I do have to go. So while I'm here, I mean, drop a like on the stream, like I said already, and yeah, subscribe to the channel. Helps a mill. Let's see how many likes we have so far on the stream. 56 likes. I mean, that's pretty good. If I can get a few more before we dip here, I'd absolutely love it. Hopefully I helped you guys out with a few of those transfer dilemmas. And yeah, I mean, Robert, you say, Stephen, good luck for the weekend. Good luck to you guys too. Really good to have everyone on. And yeah, I had a great time. So obviously I went for Gvardiol to start in the end. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, everyone, good luck this weekend. Good luck. Hopefully everyone